Hey everyone, welcome back to the IWP Network, or if it's your first time, welcome hanging out with us. Thank you so much for choosing this podcast, and feedback is always welcome. So make sure to check the links below for all social media links, audio and video versions of this show, and merch. We look forward to hearing from you and hearing that feedback, and enjoy the show. Ladies and gentlemen, here we are, Tornado Tech Podcast. I think 98? This 98? Yeah, 98. Yeah. Getting close to that one bill. So I was just getting the fun stuff out of the way here first. We want to thank, over on Brian's shoulder there, Abaddon Tattoo Studio, a unique professional experience nestled in the small town of Pine Grove, Pennsylvania. They provide high-quality tattoos and piercings in a relaxed, professional, and sterile environment. You can check our links below for our sponsorship there. We want to thank them so much. We do have some gift cards still to give away, but we're kind of spreading them out a little bit. But stay tuned and follow along. Maybe if we get some good interaction in the chat and people are typing, maybe we'll give a gift card away in this episode. Like I said, $100 towards a tattoo. Also, we want to thank our Patreon. So right now we have our Patreon is going on. You get bonus content for our shows like Tornado Tag, Not Cool in High School, Bangin' Beers Podcast, and Truth Behind Illusion. $5 gets you a shout out and the bonus content. $1 just gets you a shout out. Everything goes to help us grow. So we want to thank Tommy Borzarath. I'm going to butcher this until
Bozarth. I think we
Bozarth. Yes.
It out. Yeah.
Yep. I was Bozarth. We're going to go with that. Tree of Life Metaphysical Shop. Brad Zalonis. The PA Pile Driver Podcast. Hireth in Other Words. Jay, Austin Blackwell, and Jennifer Myers. So we want to thank you guys for supporting us over on Patreon. And you can too. If you don't want to do Patreon, we also have merchandise. You can get a Tornado Tag t-shirt and all that other fun stuff. Our guest tonight is Devantes. How's it going on, man?
Everything good. What's going on? Thanks for having me.
Thank you for doing this. We had this set up before and we canceled because I got invited to come hang out on a Leapfrog day. So I got to go to camp. So the night that we would have recorded would have been the one of the nights of day one, or the live shooting. Yep. When we did the live viewers' choice. Camper's choice. Yes. So we rescheduled here. We're really excited to have you. We have a lot of fun stuff to talk about. With Leapfrog and everything else going on in wrestling. All of your links will also be below if you want to follow him. It's on Twitter. And then also he has his What a Maneuver merch page where you can get that awesome trash talking tee. And it looks very similar to our Washington football team love, It's our first shot there. Brian, he's waiting for it. Yeah, the legals there. We're gonna get him a little later. This conversation is gonna go all over the place, but I'm sure there's gonna be some trash talking at some point in time of some football team. We don't win the division often, but when we do, we let you know.
That's how.
Yeah, we got to let you know it happened.
Let me tell you, that hat he got on is going to make me only talk to you over here instead
of. If it helps, my mom was a Redskins fan.
That makes me feel better now.
Washington fans, excuse me.
Yeah. She almost raised you right,
Very close.
You did fall in love with professional wrestling, and we love you for that because you're a human encyclopedia. Well, speaking of that, Devantes, when did the wrestling bug bite you?
As far as becoming a fan, or me, my brother, we used to watch all of it: WCW, ECW, WWF. So I would say around sometime in the mid '90s for me.
Okay. So it was in your household, and it was kind of there was other people that were involved that got you into it.
Yeah, my brother, is older than me, so basically we was those kids that stayed up, watched WCW at 8:00, and then when Raw came on at 9, we watched Raw for the rest of the night. But yeah, I've been watching this for forever.
What is the family dynamic? Big family, a lot of brothers and sisters, or just one brother?
I got one brother, 2 half sisters that don't live with me, but it was me and my older brother.
All right. How many wrestling will you probably started your training young then, growing up with an older brother. So how many hardcore matches took on in the house before mom's got a hold of you?
A whole bunch of them that I lost, every single one of them.
now one thing, not to kiss up to you right off the bat here, but when my first exposure to was Camp Leapfrog, and just seeing that first match from that first show, I'm like, oh, this guy's been around a while. And then I look you up and like, no, he hasn't.
Yeah.
Do you think like growing up a fan helped you? Like, because you don't look like somebody that's been doing this for only a little bit of time.
That, and I mean, it's a testament to the training, man. I mean, we had really good trainers that, I guess they seen what my strengths were and let me just go off of that. So
yeah,
definitely testament to the trainers I was under.
So growing up, who were some of your favorite superstars to watch? Like who were you imitating?
Growing up, I was a Jericho. Early childhood, I know it's taboo to say this name, but I'm a Chris Benoit fan.
Yeah, I mean, in the ring, there's no denying how talented he was.
Right.
Benoit. I loved Vader.
Yes.
A big man fan. Of course, you love Stone Cold and The Rock. But as far as wrestling, it was Benoit. I liked all the cruiserweights in WCW. Even though I can't do none of that stuff, but
were you always a bigger kid, like on the bigger size?
I was always like husky. I was never like overweight or anything like that, but I was just like a husky kid. That's about it. But yeah.
Now, with your brother now, are you bigger than your brother now? With the way, or is he still a big guy?
My brother's a big guy. You see my
yeah. I haven't seen your brother.
he's a bigger guy than me.
Even when you got older, you have nothing on him.
No.
That's what I was afraid of. My little brother. It was 11-year age gap, and he's like, "I'm hitting the gym. I'm joining the military." I was like, "Don't come home thinking you're big. I'll still poke you in the eyes."
You gotta go over those old school trainers. There's some of those sugar holds.
Yeah. You gotta keep those little brothers in check. Especially they can't let them get bigger and then come home and punk you out. So I didn't know. Well, you're a big guy. That's what I was saying. I hope your brother got to maintain that still. Yeah. So you had the cruiserweights and the more technical style is kind of where you heavily lean towards those technical, like the Benoits and stuff like that.
Yeah. Benoit, for me, Benoit just looked like he was like it looked like he just looked like he meant everything. Like he just looked like so vicious to me. I'm like, wow.
That's Vader too. That's totally Vader.
Like I like more of the stiff wrestlers.
Yeah.
That lay it in a little bit, or at least look like they laying it in a little bit, man. So those guys were like my go-tos.
Yeah. So you lean more heavily with WWE product during the Monday Night Wars.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was in the same boat. He was a he did both.
I like them both, yeah. And ECW, yeah. Like ECW was like in the backyards. Literally, ECW would run shows by my middle school, so that was the hometown promotion. No, not the arena. I'm from right outside of Philly.
Got you.
Now, what you don't have to go to town or anything, but where were you born and raised?
I was born in Philly.
The Philly area?
Philadelphia. Born and raised in Philadelphia.
Nice. How was it growing up as not a sports member of their fan of their sports team, growing up as a division rival in Philadelphia?
People never bother me because Washington always sucked throughout my whole.
We get together and go after the Cowboys fans. That's all.
Yeah.
People always felt sorry for me, man. So Cowboys.
Yeah, definitely not that. How did you become a Washington fan? Like, what led you that way? How did you become a Washington fan?
Okay, so when I say I started understanding football more around like 01, 02, and I'm a big Miami Hurricane fan. So when Santana Moss came to Washington, then Sean Teller came, Clinton Portis came, and Rocky McIntosh came, and all of these players, I'm just like, just start watching Washington, and I just was stuck with them ever since. So I've been a fan of them since I want to say 03, 04 when they traded Lavernius Coles for Santana Moss. And ever since then, I just stayed with Washington.
I was going to ask, did you feel some kind of way when they brought in Spurrier?
Nah. Listen, man. we've had horrible coaches, man.
I meant the whole Florida thing.
Yeah.
Florida State.
Yeah. Nah. That didn't bother me too much.
All I know.
Now, were you a Florida State fan when you were younger, or like because Ron Simmons? I was thinking Ron Simmons since he was a legend there.
No, I was always a Miami Hurricane fan.
Oh, I'm an idiot. Why did I think Florida State? Yeah, Miami. Okay.
Yeah, the U baby. The Rock was there for a while.
Jerome Brown was there.
Yeah. I do remember the day Sean Taylor left us. I bawled like a baby.
Dude,
Heidi was like, "What are you crying?" Like my wife, like at the time, girlfriend at the time, now wife. She's like, "What are you crying about?" I'm like, "My favorite football player died." Like I was heartbroken.
Dude, I was in college, 07, man, when that happened. I was, not to sound insensitive, but you hear like a leg shot. You're like, oh, he's going to survive that.
Yeah.
Next day, it was like, nah, he passed away. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, I still remember that. Like that stuck with me. My favorite Washington football player at the time was Darryl Green. I was a Darryl Green fan. And then he was like, he retired, and my dad's like, who's gonna be your new favorite? I'm like, I don't really know. I don't have always had that one player that I stuck with. And we get my first ever. We go to my own first professional game. We go to see them play the Bengals.
Mm-hmm.
And what was it at the time? What was the Bengals' big quarterback?
Oh,
he was decent.
Carson Palmer.
Palmer drops back, throws one down the sideline, I think towards Ocho Cinco, and gets picked off by Sean Taylor, one of like his first career interceptions. And I was like, that's my new player.
Yep.
You know what my favorite Darryl Green moment is, right?
What's that?
Ribs.
He hand delivered that Vince Lombardi trophy at Super Bowl 52.
Oh yeah, lesson through. There.
Yeah. But yeah, they were my favorites. And then when Sean passed, I was like, man, like Clinton Portis, I think filled that shoe. But then just like watching the funeral and like the LeVar Arrington speech, just like heartbreaking. Sean Taylor's dad was like, I think he still is. We're Facebook friends.
Really?
Oh wow.
Yeah, because I met like a girl I used to go to school with. Her mom went to Florida and was talking, and she's like, and I always had Sean Taylor stuff on, and she was like, oh, this kid's a huge Sean Taylor fan, and he like, added me on Facebook.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice, man. Yeah, Sean Taylor was our Brian Dawkins.
Yep.
Yeah. And he was, and in that respect, he is a guy like the fan of the other team has that begrudging respect for too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Brian Dawkins is that guy right there.
And Sean Taylor absolutely is too.
Yeah. I always liked Javon Curse too.
The freak.
The freak. And then when Jerome Trotter would bounce around the NFC East every.
Yeah, let me tell you something. I have a lifelong hate towards Jeremiah Trotter. When he went back to the Eagles, he balled out for them.
Yep.
That's like whenever somebody leaves the Eagles for the Cowboys or vice versa, they always stink. Always. Yeah. It never works.
Always.
Yeah. So all right. So college time rolls around. Still a fan of professional wrestling and all that. But when did the desire become where you're like, I want to pick this up, I want to train, I want to get into this?
Okay, so around, like I would say, I think a lot of us around 18, 19, like I kind of fell back off of wrestling around like 11th grade.
Did MMA step in?
No, I was always a boxing fan, but no,
okay,
wasn't the biggest MMA guy. But I would say around 2018. My brother lived right around the corner from the Wrestle Factory, and he's like, they got a free workshop going on. Do you want to try out? Go there. And I went there, and it was, Solo Darling was there, and a couple other people were there, and I took that first bump, and I was like, I think I could do this. So that's kind of how it started.
Did you play sports in high school or college or anything like that?
I played basketball in high school, but that was as far as a lot of people think, I played so many different sports, but nah, I played basketball and, was in the gym. That was all.
And again, I think that's a testament to you because you look very comfortable in that setting.
Yeah.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah. So the you said Wrestle Factory, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Now, who is in your opening class? Is there anyone that you still keep in contact with, still wrestle? Or are they still in the business?
Opening classes. Out of my opening class, I think I'm the only one in my opening class that debuted.
Yeah.
But there were certain people that were like right before me, like Matt Mikowski was right before me.
Mm-hmm.
you know, a couple other guys. Yeah, Matt Mikowski, Jet was there. Um, Xavier came after me. But yeah, it was we weren't far from each other. We were like maybe like a month or so off from each other.
Mm-hmm.
So
And then these are all names that then went, I guess, then moved from Wrestle Factory over to Chikara.
That's Chikara's school, yeah.
Yeah.
Chikara's school.
You move up to Chikara. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, we all debuted on Chikara. Yep.
Yeah, and it's crazy because you and our last interview guest was Matt, and it's you guys kind of followed each other's path there. Like you guys came in and really excelled and looked comfortable in this setting. How Brian was saying at a very quick start.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we debuted a day apart. I debuted May 25th, 2019 in Pittsburgh. He debuted May 26th, 2019 in Chicago. That was
Oh wow.
if you go on IWTV, it's the anniversarial weekend. That was our first match. I had a Atomicos match, and he had a triple, six man tag.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Tony. Sorry.
Yeah, I was saying it's a 4-way tag, correct? Like
The
four
first,
feasible.
because he has a 4-way tag. Yep.
Yeah. It was you, Lance Steele, Ophidian, and the Whisper.
Yep.
Defeating Quackenbush, Razorhawk, Solo Darling, and Thief Ant.
Mm-hmm.
What was the experience of that first time stepping in there?
I was scared. I was nervous. But it's kind of one of those things like once you take your first bump or you do whatever, you get through the first set or whatever, you know, I start calming down as the time went on. And Solo Darling was like the person that walked me through it and made me feel comfortable and didn't mind that I kept asking like, hey, can we go over this again? Can we go over? Like she was a sweetheart to me. So
that is a cool experience. Like one of the things I'm probably like the weirdo. I do it all the time at PPW and Outbreak, and I did it a lot at Leapfrog. I caught myself doing it. I would kind of just like hone in, like you know how Joe Rogan stares at people during the weigh-offs, and they just like to him it's fascinating to see that who breaks first type deal. That's kind of how I am with like backstage with like the wrestling shows, like just watching people interact and going over their matches and seeing like and setting it up and just like how they interact with each other and work with each other. It's to me, it's super fascinating because it's a side of wrestling I've never seen before. And it's kind of cool to see like how you were saying before, like, oh, I'll go to her or she'll go to him. Like there's no barrier in and the cool thing with like even Leapfrog, there's no barrier between man and woman or anything like that. Like everyone's there to help each other. Everyone has something to offer somebody else. It's awesome, and I think it has a lot to do with where everyone pretty much came from with the Wrestle Factory in Chikara as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Like you said, you know, Solo's been doing it for so long, and yeah, like I just appreciated the patience because you know I've been other places and some people are not as much as patient as she was, or like other people were. So.
Now, that match was mostly was set up beforehand, or it wasn't like how much of it was called in the ring, or is that a style a style thing that you perform more? Just where you set it up with your opponent, or where you're like, can you go in the ring, like, hey, we'll just call it as it goes.
I'm not quite there yet, but that match was called completely like that was me and Lance's first match, and we called it a bunch of times, and then it got to a point where they told just me and Lance to call the match even spots that we weren't in. I think that's why we felt so comfortable. Like, not only did I know my spots, but I knew your spots. I knew where this person was supposed to be. So, but and now where I'm at, like I don't mind. I improvise in the ring now, but as far as like, hey, let's just go in the ring and we'll call it when we go out there. I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
And some people never did that. Randy Savage infamously was let's plan everything out. DDP. A lot of those people were like that.
Yeah. There's definitely nothing wrong with it. That's just like a kind of once again one of those term things as like something behind the curtain. I just didn't know that was a thing. Mm-hmm. You know, like how people could just go in there and kind of like what I would simulate to is like freestyling, where some people write and some people freestyle, and people are good either way. I would say most of our podcasts we're calling it as we go. We have really nothing planned.
Grab a hold, Tony.
But sometimes
just grab a hold and see how it goes.
Freestyle, man. Sometimes those are the best shows you freestyle.
Yeah. I feel like it's more you could build more of that natural conversation than you can if you're just like I found out that you're reading from your notes and stuff all the whole time. Some people do a great job in preparing the notes and keeping it very professional, and I like those interviews as well.
And just to double down on what Devantes was saying about just the and what you were talking about too, Tony, about the open nature of Chikara. Now, Camp Leapfrog's kind of the spiritual successor of it, where around this time, I don't know if it was before or after, I don't know the exact chronology, but Kimberly, Princess Kimberly and Chikara, she was a champion. Like, their champion was a woman.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a completely open border, just like Camp Leapfrog.
Absolutely, man. And Kimberly is great.
She is, yeah, tearing it up in Impact now.
Absolutely.
Now, your second match here is exciting to me because this is somebody that I didn't get a chance to see until recently. Yeah, the match aired, so we're safe. Blackstorm.
Yeah.
Him and Mikowski, that round one, they tore it up.
Yo, that was great. Great.
I'm a big fan of him. I definitely want to see more from him. But that was your second match. Where you're 2-0. You're starting off your career hot here.
Yep. Yeah.
Anything with that match that stands out? Being your first time solo in the ring, and it's just you and one other person. You're not big tag format.
Yeah, that was It's more on you, and I don't know if you're familiar with those. We used to do like Crucible style matches, where the match had to be under, I forgot, maybe 3 minutes or something like that.
Very much like the Camp Leapfrog opening round they're doing in this frog sport thing.
Yeah.
Oh, it was like nonstop. And you got blown up quick, but it was nonstop. No rest holds, no nothing. You just got to go at it. And Blackstrom was great. He was smooth, man. He real smooth in the ring, man. And I thought it looked really good. I mean, I got a lot of compliments over that match.
Yeah.
That's your second match, so that's saying something.
Yeah, absolutely. And you weren't in there long. You got done quick, 1:45.
You don't have to go in there for 20 minutes to make a memory. You don't have to be memorable. Like, you can do it quick, especially in those kind of matches.
It's a way to set a presence too against a really talented opponent.
Well, seriously, I mean, because if you look at a straight out shoot fight, what fight is lasting 15 minutes? If you fight somebody in the street, it might go 30 seconds.
Yep. So sometimes you get those big dudes who throw everything they got for 13 punches, and then they're throwing pillows the rest of the night.
Yep.
And they're too stubborn to go to sleep.
If you've ever seen Derek Lewis do a post-fight interview, you can get gas pretty quick.
He is.
He's the best.
Yes,
My balls is hot.
Banging and banging.
He was honest. That's what I loved about it.
Why did you take your shorts off, Joe? My balls is hot. It fucking cracks me up. Just kind of looking through some other matches here. So a lot of crucibles. Then you go back into that 4-way style match again.
Oh yeah, Chikara's lucha style. So there's a lot of multi-person.
I didn't watch a lot of Chikara, and then you're like you were in love with it, and I just like I caught it too late. And I was like, man, I have to go back and check some stuff out. But I want to. That's definitely on my list of.
Again, being from that area, it's got a soft spot in my heart, even though it's no longer around. But it
was in your backyard.
Yeah.
So you're in your stint with Chikara. Is there anything that really stands out to you with like match wise or experience wise?
Yeah, King of Trios. King of Trios to me was like one of the most special times. To be put in that position. With being 5 months since I debuted, being on that card, and actually picking up the win. Against Solo Darling, Willow Nightingale, and Freddie Mercurio. They were just great, man. And for those guys to put us over, me, Mikowski, and Matt, E.M. DeMorris, to be in there with you, me and Matt Mikowski really are friends, man, and DeMorris as well. So, that atmosphere was great, man. That bigger crowd, it was one of them nights you'll never forget.
Yeah.
You're gonna get Tony over here mad at you. You beat his one of his favorites now. You beat Willow.
Yeah, I'm a huge Willow fan. She really impressed me at the last live.
Willow was great.
Yeah, I'd never seen her stuff, and then I seen her at the live, and I was like, and I heard just her style and how she was funny, and she can do like the comedy, but she could also go in there and work.
She could too, you know what I mean? So,
and wrestling is one of those things where if you can establish yourself within 5 seconds coming through that curtain, you have a leg up on everybody, and she can absolutely do that.
She's one of the people, as soon as she comes out, like you're just on her. She has a presence about her.
100%.
Yeah, I seen her. I was like, I went on whatamaneuver.com, typed her in, order. Thank you very much. I got the girl power shirt where, well, the Black Pride shirt where it's a little bit of everything. I support, and she just lists everything I'm supporting too. So I bought it. But yeah, she's awesome. I'm a big fan. I can't wait to see more of her. I hope she's a regular camper, which I'm sure she probably will be.
The future is very bright for her. Very bright.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, for me, I love now, like I really get into the female wrestling and the intergender wrestling. Like it just because me growing up, like it was a joke. Female, like women wrestling was, I don't want to be mean. Like it was trash. Like I wasn't into the bra and panty. It didn't do it for me. Even as an adolescent, young teenager, like I was
and even before that, they were tearing it up in Japan. But I mean, you had some great wrestlers around here too. Like Medusa was good, Sherry was good.
Yeah.
But before that, you go back to Fabulous Moments. Like they're just throwing each other around by the hair.
Yeah.
And that was most of it. Now it's, there's no difference in the quality between men's and women's wrestling.
Yeah, some of my favorite wrestlers in the world right now are all women's wrestlers. Like, there's some cards I come to, and I'm like, I'm more excited for the women's matches than I am the men's because they're that talented.
And that's a great thing. I love that they get to showcase how talented they are. Like, kind of to piggyback off of what you just said, like Charlotte Flair, Shayna Baszler, Bianca Belair, Sasha. Like, I love, like, especially WrestleMania just passed. Like, that's who I was checking for. I wanted to watch their matches, man, because they're so talented. And the fact that I guess it's not as gimmicky as like the Diva era. Yeah. They actually get to go out there and show that they can go, man. And they doing their thing. And Bianca and Sasha, they deserved the main event at WrestleMania, and they had
absolutely.
Yeah.
And well, I'm so much. I love that Sasha's a heel again. She's so much better as a heel for me.
Yeah, I like her as heel Sasha. But well, here's the thing too with not only just the women wrestling, but to have two people of color, women at headline WrestleMania, and then Bobby Lashley walking out as champion. That representation of people of color in professional wrestling being taken seriously and given the opportunity to win championships. It was a really powerful thing to see in the midst of what we've been going to with sports and what's going on in today's culture and environment, to watch people watch those two people walk out as world champions in our WrestleMania showcase.
Yeah, that was beautiful. I mean, I think any people in general, man, anybody would, like, when you seen Bianca get emotional before our match, everybody felt that, man, because we knew what that meant. Not only just a black male being in that position, but you got two black women being in this spot,
and they're headlining it.
Headlining something we've never seen,
and living up to it, living up to the bill.
Best match to me,
and then some. Yeah.
So
that hair whip,
right.
Dude, that hair whip was world star quality. Everyone in the back row all got out of their seat, like, like the one guy had to walk it out. Yeah.
and with Bianca, she's new. Like, she's gonna go down as one of the best ever. She really is.
I agree. And she was never NXT Women's Champion. Yeah. That's crazy to think about.
She didn't need to be. She got over without the title. She didn't need it.
Yeah. When she came out and said, "I go here now," and I was like, I love her.
It goes kind of like what I was saying about Willow. Bianca has a presence. Look at her, like, she looks different. So it's a good thing.
I just I don't have a lot of negative stuff on my social media because I'm pretty good at unfollowing if I start seeing stuff go down a rabbit hole. But it was really, really cool to see, like, young black girls who are now becoming wrestling fans, and they're imitating Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks, and they're like, this is like a little kid watching the TV screen, and it said, like, this is why representation is important, because that's something I never had. Like, when you're growing up, you don't realize that you're like, everything's represented for us. You know what I mean? Like, every world champion was a white dude, every person on the title, every now and then the scary person of color come on screen or black guy come on screen, and you're like, oh, I wonder if he's gonna be, but he never does. He never wins a title, and it was never really that big representation on the WWE platform until The Rock came.
We're only what, 30, 35 years removed from, like, and respect to the guy behind the character, respect to James Harris, but Kamala, his whole thing was he's literally a cannibal that's going to eat people.
Yeah.
And it's like, really, like now it's like, I'm glad we're beyond that now.
I know exactly what you mean. I mean, listen, these are conversations that I had behind closed doors about some of the gimmicks that are given. So that's why I love to see a Jay Lethal, a Booker T, Bobby Lashley, or Street Profits and guys like that, because we don't have to get those goofy gimmicks anymore.
First, when I seen the Street Profits, I was even Private Party. I wasn't sold because I was like, oh, they're just sticking him in that stereotype gimmick again. But I feel like Street Profits took it to a different level with it. And they showed that they're more than just that gimmick. Like the New Day coming out and just being like, we're coming out as powerful black men, and we're gonna talk about positivity. Like I thought it was great. Like that was never done before. The Hurt Business, love the Hurt Business. I wish they would have stuck with them a little longer.
That was rough, dude. I didn't understand that one at all. I mean, I felt best. I still love MVP and Lashley, but I thought that was the best thing they had going.
So good. So good.
I think for me, the biggest representation that I was a fan of the stable was I loved the Nation of Domination.
Who didn't? I
love that stable. And then when they snuck Owen in there, I was like, this is great.
Man,
Owen just goes walking down. Well, we got a big history lesson on our podcast a couple months ago during Black History Month. We did Ron Simmons and just kind of doing the deep dive on his whole career, man. That's awesome. And then I went back and rewatched that match when he wins the world championship, and the people in the crowd lost their fucking minds. The one dude was literally jumping. He almost jumped the barrier. Like it was that moment that like a WrestleMania moment this year, except at that time, like the people who were in attendance that night, it meant something to them.
Yeah, man, definitely, dude. Definitely, man. You know, that's not something that happens all the time. Unfortunately, it doesn't happen for us all the time, but hopefully we can get to a point where, you know, it's not shocking now.
It would be nice to get to the point where it's not something you have to stop and talk about. Like it's just it's every day. That would be great.
Yeah.
You know,
let's hope.
the first this. I mean, you know, if I was to ask you what champion was Randy Orton, I don't know, 86, 87.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
like who was the 17th white champion? Yeah, like
yeah, right. Well, you know, you like, that was the third, or that was because it's not so many of us, you know.
Yeah, it's 2021, and we just had two black entertainer females headline WrestleMania, and it's 2021.
I know
and to say that's the first time.
Yeah, that's rough, man. It's rough, but
the corner's turning, and hopefully it's not something. It happens so often. We're not just looking at it as a number anymore, and it's just being proud of the diversity in professional wrestling. But I get excited for it because I feel the indie scene is just really, if you're looking for that in your wrestling and you want to see diversity, the indie scene is killing it.
That's why I love the intergender matches so much, man, because it's like it's not about male. That's why I give credit to Chikara. Not play the males have to wrestle males, females have to wrestle females. It was we're all wrestlers.
Yep.
Wrestlers, we're all talented, we're all trained to be here. So anybody can get in the ring with anybody. And that was the thing that I loved, man.
Yeah. So after the Chikara, obviously, without getting too much into the details of what happened with Chikara, we don't want to reopen any wounds there, or it's just not. It wasn't great, but what is that experience of developing that community and that sense of family and locker rooms, and then all of a sudden something like this happens, and you have to kind of re-pick up the pieces? What is your process with that?
It hurt, man. Especially, I spent 2 years with the same people, seeing them 2-3 times a week, going on a road with them, and just to see some of their reactions and see how hurt some people were. A lot of people were, man. That was rough. It sucked, and that's why I say any podcast I'm on, that's why I loved Camp Leapfrog the most, because I got to be back around my friends and recreate that atmosphere that we had at Chikara. So, that's definitely why I shout out Camp Leapfrog all the time.
Yeah, I got to watch them all, and then I kind of hear, because we would do podcasts and we'd have people come on and talk, and we'd talk like a little behind the scenes stuff, and it translates when you watch it on camera. You can tell that everyone who's at those shows give a shit about each other, and it translates. And even though like this is the bad guy, this is the good guy, and you're doing the heel, you can generally see like that was just like you could put yourself in that camp, and you're like, everyone there is just like it's a different environment. And then I can honestly say, as someone who got to experience it, it's exactly what you would think, and then more. It's
It's like a family reunion every time we do a show. It's like that family when you haven't seen your friends in a while. Now, of course, we do show. We take a lot of bookings together, so you see some of them. But to get the majority of everybody in one place at one time,
Right.
it's a thing.
Yeah, and it's kind of cool how you're saying you kind of work with each other, because one of the things I kind of like eavesdropping on conversations without saying names is like, hey man, I'm working this weekend here, and you're like, "Yo, I'm free that week," and then like you guys are like, yeah, I'll get you on, I'll make a call, and like you guys like work with each other, and like you're kind of not only all fulfilling your dreams, but you're not doing that step on each other's neck thing either, where you're like, let's help our friends get shows and get bookings, and going out and saying, not only will I get you booked, but I'll get you booked with me, so because I know we could tear it up, and we're both going to look awesome by the end of it. Like that little family you guys just kind of working with each other throughout is exciting to see.
Well, it's no hate at all towards anything. I mean, when Chikara shut down, I made it my business to get people. Like I was getting bookings because I was me, Mikowski, a couple other people. We were like the last ones that got a push before it shut down. So I felt bad for like the people that were in the advanced class that hadn't debuted yet, but I knew that they were ready. So like Max was one of them. Pancakes was another one that I got booked with me at other places because I just wanted to see them in the ring, and I felt because I knew they were talented, and I also felt bad over what happened, even though it's not on me what happened, but these are still like your brothers, so
yeah,
take care of them.
And that's one of the beautiful things about wrestling now, because you look back at how cutthroat it might have been back in the day, and now it's that rising tide lifts all boats. And it's not just, and I know that Chikara, the group there too, but with one of the indies around us where we are, PPW, they would have a van load of guys coming from House of Glory in New York, Amazing Red School, and they stuck together. They look out for each other, and it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, and the cool thing is Camp Leapfrog has become kind of like and when I say battleground, I say in just competition and uplifting each other battleground, where it's the Chikara team kind of meeting up with the House of Glory team. So like everyone who I love at House of Glory is now at Leapfrog competing with the Chikara guys, with a mix of guy here and there, and it's just like it's awesome to watch. It's really really fun to watch.
Yeah. Yeah, man, we're building that bond with them too. Like a lot of those New York, like the main event and people like that, man. I mean, it's just we're extending our family, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
and one thing that just popped in my head while we were talking here is that first Camp Leapfrog event and that first match, you and Deshaun Pratt. That is like two generations of Chikara coming together, which is amazing too.
I got that call from Chris Levin, and he was like, "You want to wrestle Deshaun Pratt? He was a Mosis." I'm like, "Hell yeah, I want to wrestle him, man!" And that was my first time meeting him, dude. You could tell, super smooth, man. I mean, he carried that match. I thought I did well, but the way he sold for me, the way he made me look like a monster, the way everything I gave him, it looked like he was just in agony, man. So that's one of my favorite matches.
Deshaun is very, very high on my favorite independent wrestler talent. I seen him at PPW and fell in love. And then Brian's like, then we talked about the YouTube clip. And he's
I just showed him the video.
He was one of the first independent guys to break the internet, like with that whole thing. And I watched it, and then we had him on the show, and amazing story, man. A lot of setbacks and a lot of doubt was put in his head, and he's like, you know what, I think I'm done. And then PPW kind of rejuvenated his career, and he's so talented. Like we always say, he's like the ace of people. Like you can put him in any company, and he'll be that ace. You can put him with anybody in the ring. They're going to work well together. They're going to be fun together. He's so good at what he does.
Absolutely, I agree.
Yeah. I'm looking here at your matches, and I see another former guest of the show. Actually, right before your Deshaun Pratt, you got to work at Outbreak Wrestling Quarantine number 7. So you got a little Outbreak in you, because we're big Outbreak fans. You got to go against Jason Drake, who's been on the show.
Yeah. I did a few things for Outbreak, man. Are you familiar with Ryan Vox?
Yeah, I love Ryan. Yeah.
Ryan's been on the show too. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Ryan's been on the show. We're I would say, when it comes to my exposure with the independent scene, my first 9-10 matches or shows I went to were all Outbreak shows. I love Outbreak. And then being at the Hamburg Fieldhouse.
Yeah, that's
and then Yeah, and then I fell in love with PPW, and then right there at the end we were finding out about True and GSW.
Yeah, and he's not here tonight because he's booked, but our regular co-host is a former Outbreak champion. So yeah, we're very familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah, my first booking outside of Chikar was Outbreak, and it was at a battle royal. And after the battle royal, like Ryan pulled me out, and a couple other people was like, "Oh, you want to wrestle for us?" So that's kind of started doing, the quarantine tapings and things like that.
Yeah, you have a lot of appearances there. You got to get in there with Tyler Ash, Draven Blaze, Jason Drake again, Chris Slade. Chris Slade's a beast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Trying to see what else here. The Hugo Bright and the Spoiler at an Outbreak taping. Quarantine number 11.
So Hugo Bright is another Shikara guy. That was the guy that was in the advanced class that I wanted to, took him out the Outbreak with me. Yep.
Yeah.
And this is going to be a little bit of an off the wall question, just because of the unique time you've kind of started in. At this point, because you've done so much of both, do you feel more comfortable wrestling in front of a crowd or in an empty arena setting?
I still want the crowd, dude.
Good. That's the right answer, I think.
Dude, yeah.
It's like that WrestleMania was so much. It was so much fun just to have a crowd there.
Dude, seriously, man. I mean, I've done the tapings and I've enjoyed them, and I've had some. Like, I later on in the summer, you're going to see some stuff that we taped last month and the month before it's going to come out. So I thought some of those, I thought a lot of them were really good matches, but I need that crowd. That crowd gives me the second win.
And especially somebody, because you have a presence, like you just look like you mean business, and the crowd's going to really feed into that.
Yeah. So before I jump back in here and we get into Camp Leapfrog talk with some matches, I know I'm not saying any matches or spoiler. I'm looking for a spoiler in a match, but will you be hanging out with this for Outbreak's return when they come back to the field house?
Hopefully.
If you're listening, Ryan, we would like Devantes on that card. So definitely,
yes, please. Yes,
good guy. Ryan's a good guy. I'm cool with a nice amount of those guys around there. Tyler Ash is good guy, really good guy. So I'm pretty sure, I'll be getting a call.
I hope so. Well, here's a cool little thing that I know that the wheels haven't started in motion on getting it going yet, but we will have our table there during the con with Tornado Tag Podcast as well as High Tension Wrestling, and we're also part of the same table with Camp Leapfrog. So Camp Leapfrog will be in attendance at the Hamburg Fieldhouse during the day. Maybe opening match could be a little Camp Leapfrog versus Outbreak little match, like a little 4-way tag or something.
Hell yeah, sound good to me.
That's a house divided though.
Yeah, there's
back.
Yeah.
Now we're Leapfrog. Sorry, Ryan.
Yeah, I got big Leapfrog. I love Ryan too, but I got to go with Leapfrog.
Because that's kind of the thing that High Tension Wrestling and Leapfrog is also trying to do too, is where they also want to incorporate and work with other independent promotions. They're definitely, and Outbreak's the same way. They're not looking to cut throat. They're not one of those companies who are going to say you can't work here, but you have to work here.
A rising tide lifts all boats. Rising tide lifts all boats.
And Outbreak is one of those locker rooms too, where everyone's super cool. Like we've met so many awesome people inside that Outbreak locker room.
Trajan,
Trajan is one of my favorite human beings on the planet.
Yeah, I was going to say that it goes past wrestling with me.
You can't even have a moment with him where you're not like, if he's not making you smile, there's something wrong.
Just a fun guy to be around.
He is. He's so awesome to be around. I love that guy to death.
Yep.
I bummed he cut his hair though. He's cat girl.
Yeah. I told him, I was like, "How'd you cut your hair, dude?" I mean, I don't know, man, but Trajan is the best, man.
Yeah.
The last Outbreak show they did before everything shut down, the kid in the crowd right in front of us. It was hilarious. Trajan's a heel there, and there's this loud kid, and he's like, "I'm gonna give it to your mom and send you to military school."
Yeah, he's like, "I want to start dating your mom, and I'm gonna send you to military school." He's great. At the GSW show, the referee didn't give him his 3 count, so we got up and he grabbed him by his ears and kissed him right in the mouth. So next time you count to 3.
And it's so funny. I don't think it's so long ago, and I don't think he would mind. I don't think he would really mind because we got a privilege to kind of be behind the scenes of that GSW show. It was right before everything shut down. It was like February 29th. It was the same night that they had the AEW show where Moxley beat Jericho for the title.
Yeah.
And Trajan was talking to us for like maybe 15, 20 minutes about, yeah, we should do a show where like all the local indies get to show off themselves and like why like the same thing you're talking about, everybody working together, everybody helping everybody else. And he had that in his mind way back then when everybody was kind of in that pre-quarantine mindset. Another great mind.
Yeah, we left there that night and I was like, Trajan can be the next Janela, where like he has the mind and the skill and the creativity to book a show.
When I say this, just in the ring, I'm not talking about that, but when I say this about Trajan, I always feel like I'm insulting him, and I'm not. It's a compliment. Because everybody thinks of this guy, like at the very end of his career, if you're old enough to remember him like I am, at the very end of his career, he was kind of getting a little out of shape, and he was slowing down. He always reminds me of a younger Adrian Adonis.
Okay.
And Adrian Adonis, if you see him when he was younger, that guy was a bigger dude who could bounce around like a pinball. And that's Trajan.
Nice.
There he is. There's Andy Header.
Andy is during an intermission. He's at a live show right now. So he quick popped on social media and shared this interview for us. We
on
appreciate
his
it, Andy.
Birthday. On his birthday.
Andy,
he
does that for us.
I know Andy, man. Andy get our tights from the same guy.
Yeah.
Andy, good guy.
That's what I was talking about. Our co-host that's the former Outbreak champion. That's Andy.
Oh, okay, cool.
He's part of our little team here. Yeah. I love Andy Header to death. He's been an OG. A day one tornado tag, I believe. Yeah.
And also spent some time with the Wrestle Factory too.
Yeah, and he was also
back when Claudio was there, back when Deshaun was there. Yeah.
Wow.
Claudio was training back then, but yeah.
Drew
was Gulak there at the time?
Yeah, Gulak was there at the time. He said I believe some of those ants who went on to do some cool stuff.
Oh, who could that be?
Yeah.
Where are my sunglasses? I can't find them. You say, wait, Gulak and some of the ants. Okay, that's
and some of the ants, not just Gulak in that ant suit, but God, am I a huge fan of his?
Yeah,
I have like 4 of his
Gulak's wonderful.
Yeah,
you got 4 of that.
Oh, you mean the other ant?
Yeah, the other ant, that really cool one. Keeps his hands in his pockets.
Are you saying cool? Are you saying Drew Gulak's not cool?
Oh, Drew Gulak is definitely cool. He wears too much Philly gear for me, but he's still all right.
I was with another person about a month and a half ago.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he did a training session that I went to, and I had cheeseburgers, and that's my guy.
Oh, I'm a huge fan. Yeah. I'm cheeseburger as well.
Speaking of that first Can't Believe Rock show, how good was that rounds match with Cheeseburger and Edith Surreal?
Oh, dude.
How good was that?
First of all, Edith, she is the truth.
We don't go a show without me like just talking about how it's only a matter of time for her.
Yeah, it's
happening now. Like it's literally happening now.
She's the truth. She deserves everything that she get, man.
Absolutely.
I don't know nobody that know more submissions than her.
And she's just built for it, like the body length, like she's just built for that style, and she knows how to do it too.
She embraced that. Freakishly talented.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
That match with Effie blew me away.
Oh yeah.
How about and you? I don't think you've seen it yet, Tony. Maybe I haven't either, Devantes. But the match in Florida over WrestleMania weekend with Lee Moriarty, so good.
Yo,
so good.
I haven't watched it yet, but I know Lee. Like I've been booked with Lee multiple times.
Lee's great. Lee's amazing.
It's ridiculous. It's like you question yourself and go, "Why am I not that talented?"
Yeah.
Like if you like the mat stuff, you like that ground game. Oh, that match with Ethan Lee is
yeah. To check it out it's on IWTV. Correct?
Yeah, it's IWTV Family Reunion. There's also the Leapfrog Trios. It's Matt.
Yes.
It's Matt Travis and a very good professional wrestler against not Christmas Trios. No.
Okay.
This is the one from WrestleMania weekend.
Oh yeah.
I love your trio. Yep.
Yeah.
Love that trio. No, this is Matt Travis and a very good professional wrestler against Erica Lee, Boomer, and the Boar. Yeah.
Yeah. Boomer's another one, man. Boomer, I love that guy.
Quick. How quick?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Boomer reminds me like of Trajan, not personality wise, but I'm saying like as far as like because they got different personalities.
Yeah,
That you can't help but not just love Boomer. Boomer is great.
another guy I really got to bond with it because we were kind of kept end up always standing by each other, and we would just kind of mess around and bullshit. And I kind of got like I got a vibe from him when I was Huckabee. Huckabee's a fun dude.
Yeah, Travis is great.
Yeah, I don't know. It just I don't know. I'm a very social person, and sometimes I'm like, oh, people are gonna think I'm weird because I just go talk to everybody. But like, there was so many cool people. I met so many cool people.
And I do want your trio back. If you go back in the I don't know if it was like a private thing or when Christmas Trios airs, I'm like I go to Alex Kilowatt like, hey, this team Devantes, Huckabee, and Mikowski, like more, please, more
of that. Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. That was fun. That was.
They got to bring back their team, and you have to wear one of those blonde mullets.
Oh, God, you talking
during the 80s.
Boys, oh, that was hilarious.
It'll be like the old Midnight Express. It'll be great. It'll be Condrey, Rose, and Norval Austin. It'll be great.
You can do a whole angle where you're like identical twin triplets with the mullets.
Travis like thrust their hips was.
And the whole commentary angle would be like, we have no idea who's in the ring at either time. Because that's a cool thing about Leapfrog too, man. It's just fun. Like it can be taken very seriously, but it also can be a lot of fun. And I think that's what's going to be showcased tomorrow when Frog Sport airs, where it is fun and it can be lighthearted, but when that gong hits, they're not messing around. As we see in the round one things, like it gets serious. Like, you know, everyone can smile and have a good time and laugh, but when this Frog Sport's going to show a little bit of a serious side as well with this new show coming up.
And that trio show was where that happened. Like, oh, okay, this is like the first two shows were fun, but this trio show, okay, it's wrestling now. Yeah, okay, we're going.
Yeah, we got it on.
Now, who are some names out there that you haven't worked with yet that you want to?
O'Shea Edwards, Calvin Tankman.
Oh yeah, that would be great.
Are just indies or
we'll do it.
Anybody, yeah.
Speaking into existence. That's what we're here for.
I want Jacob Fatu. Bad.
Ooh. Yeah.
Like Jacob Fatu, right now, that's my number one go-to. Like I watch all his stuff. But O'Shea, and it's weird because me and O'Shea are booked together a lot, but we never go against each other. You know, so but yeah, O'Shea, man. O'Shea, Tankman, and Fatu would be the three guys.
Can I throw out a guy that's signed?
You said what?
Because I think you would. Can I throw out a guy that's signed? Because I think you would have a great David Goliath match.
Who?
Leon Ruff.
Yeah.
He is so gifted.
Yeah, I like the skinnier guys. You know, so
like he's on another. He's like Boomer. He's like at another level with the speed and athleticism.
Yeah, absolutely.
That would be a good one.
Now, also see here, you got to wrestle two other guys. I see one at Outbreak and one was not at an Outbreak show, but you got to wrestle one of the Payne brothers, Chuck Payne.
Oh, Chuck Payne at H2O, man. Yeah, Chuck Payne was a good guy, man.
Yeah, Chuck Payne. They were one of the first tag teams at Outbreak that really like we became buddies, and they were the brothers of Payne. Mama said, I still have their shirt, and when you bought their shirt, they cut the sleeves off because you were like that redneck gimmick. So and then we left the wrestling show and maybe went to an adult club with our shirt sleeves cut off. We looked real cool.
Man, Chuck was. I had a lot of fun with Chuck, and I was pleasantly surprised because we did a spot in there, and for him, like, you think he's like a legit 300 pounds, and like
he moves.
He goes up smooth, man. I'm like, wow, this is great, you know. And he got like this moonsault he do off the second rope. I'm like, jeez, you know, that size. I'm like, wow, he can move.
Going back to Vader, that was Vader.
Moves really well. Yeah. So,
real quick with like the older stuff. The Super 8 KTB, that was another big one.
Yeah, that was I knew of him, and we didn't get the we didn't get the card until like we didn't know who we were going against until like maybe like a couple hours before the show started. And KTB was like, "Yeah, they're probably gonna make us go against each other because of our stuff." And I was like, "Probably so." And like a couple minutes later, he came back, was like, "Yeah, we're going against each other."
Now, were you aware of like the history of the Super 8? Just because that is some deep stuff with going back to like the 90s with Simon Diamond, Lance Diamond at the time, and Christopher Daniels, Frankie Kazarian.
I didn't.
Tommaso Ciampa. Like there's a lot of big names who went through that tournament.
Cheeseburger was in it. A lot of people were in it. I wound up like messaging my brother. I'm like, hey, I think I just got booked for this Super 8, and he like lost his shit. And can I curse? I'm sorry, I cursed. Can I curse?
No, you're good. No, we curse.
Fucking stop.
He like lost his shit. Like, you're on Super 8, like, you know, and then he started like sending me all this. I'm like, oh, so it's great.
Yeah, it's the name I went through. I didn't realize how crazy it was, and then we were like talking about it, and I went through and looked at like all the previous people who won or were in the finals, and I'm like, this is crazy. Like there's something too. Like because I said, I'm still learning. I don't come in here and say I'm a know-it-all wrestling fan by all means, because I was a guy who just only watched one product, and now this next time around, like I got back into professional wrestling as a fan, and it's like, no, man, I'm consuming the indies. I want to watch as much as I possibly can, and then still play catch up all the stuff I missed because there's so much stuff. Yeah, it's definitely a sport that will pass you by if you step away from it.
And that is something that's going to be big. I'm so looking forward to the Super 8 this year. Mikowski, Killian, gonna be so. Ricky Morton is gonna be so good.
I got 3 people. Like I'm very good professional wrestler, Mikowski and Killian. I don't know. I don't know who I want to win. Like I don't know who I want to win because I love Killian. And
very good professional wrestler already won. Give somebody else a try.
Well, he's
so good though. He's so good.
But what if he goes back to back?
Here's so good. Here's the he got me booked for Super 8. So I got certain like, and he just out of nowhere just told the promoter like, "Oh, you should book Devantes," and I'm like, wow, like for him to do that for me,
you
know, it meant a lot to me. So you know, he got a special heart.
And one of the few people who undersells with his name. He's a little better than very good.
Well, and he also is the Camp Leapfrog champion right now.
Yes, he is.
Yes, he is. High Tension Wrestling Network saying that, hey, what's going on over on the on YouTube? What's going on, bud?
Yo.
That's probably Alex.
Or the Maestro.
Or the Maestro could be either one. I think it's Alex though. I think Alex is going to tune in. But yeah, I was going to ask you, how did that Super 8 come about? But you kind of answered that for what saying that he got you booked on there. I kind of want to see Killian and Ricky Morty go at it. I think that'd be a funny match.
That'd be great.
Or Mikowski, Ricky Morton, just this MMA guy, this legit MMA fighter, been on CBS fighting, and the most old school wrestling guy you can think of is still going. 64 years old, 63 years old, and still better than most of the people out there.
Yeah.
Mikowski versus very good professional wrestler.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
My interest is peaked now.
Yeah. He all right, so we talked about the Christmas trios earlier. There was a match between me, Matt, Travis versus Abby, Abs, and very good professional.
Absolutely, yeah.
Very good professional wrestler. Strange is growing the match before, so we did like an angle for that match, and we were like, we loved it because Abby shined. We wanted Abby to shine, you know, so that was fine.
Speaking of Ricky Morton doing the same thing,
yeah,
that babyface in peril.
Yep. So we, you know, some of us were a little down because we wanted to. I want to wrestle very good professional wrestler bad, and he wanted to wrestle us too. So, you know, unfortunately he got hurt, but you know it'll happen. You know, it'll happen.
Yeah. I'm a huge Killian fan. I've been a fan. The first time I seen him at Outbreak, and then when he came to PPW, and then now he's with the Leapfrog. I just think that guy is a absolute superstar.
Oh, absolutely,
totally amazing in the ring. Character-wise, he's always entertaining. He's fucking hilarious. Another one that
and he knows how to inject that humor without. He knows how to make a joke without being a joke, which is very important.
Yes,
the top. Yeah. He could be the top heel for any promotion.
I 100% agree.
Yeah, because when that bell rings, it's not fun anymore.
Yeah,
He's gonna break your leg.
He's not fucking around. He's your armbar cafe, you know. But I honestly think whoever comes out of the Super 8 this year, it either be the three guys, and then I mean the rest of the roster is still really good too. But we're just kind of talking about the three people that we're connected to. But this could be a big year for Matt. Matt's been really doing big things. Or Killian, either one of those guys, are a very good professional wrestler. Like any of those people can come out of this tournament and get recognized, because we are in a day and age where people are getting opportunities, you know, and they can go to a company like AEW where they can get signed and still work indie shows. You know what I mean? Where they're letting people kind of get their shine everywhere else.
Yeah. Yeah, man. This card is stacked. I mean, Super 8 do a great job every year, but this, you know, I got a little bit more of an investment because I know like I'm really tight with these three people. So, you know, but I agree with what you're saying. I mean, whoever comes out of this is, you know, definitely going to move up the charts a little bit more.
Here you go. High Tension Wrestling got a question here. He wants to know about your work in New York.
There we go. We're not there to talk about them. We're here to talk about you. Go right ahead.
Yeah.
About his work in NYCW and our boy NYCW was cool, man. A spot like out upstate New York, man. They were cool. Tunku, he's talking about. I know Tunku trained with us, man. Tunku's my guy. He's in Singapore right now. He's back in his homeland, but Tunku was great, man. That was my guy, man. He's one of a really good heel.
Yeah,
guys that we trained with at Chicago.
And you stabled up there with they put you in a stable with Moran up there, right?
Yeah, Johnny Moran.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, Moran and Friends podcast over on the High Tension Wrestling Network. Go check that out.
Mm-hmm.
He's been doing a good job. I've been proud of him. His podcast is pretty fun.
Yeah, I like Johnny, man. Johnny, good guy.
His new photos that we were just talking about the other day, he looked like he was like I thought they were old photos from like when Johnny Moran was like 17 years old. After he shaves his face, he looks like a baby.
Every time
I've been there. And if I get rid of this, I look like I'm 12.
They're like, oh, look at these photos from Titan. I was like, is that from Titan from like 10 years ago? Johnny looks like he's 13 in those photos. He's clean. Looks clean. I like when Johnny grows the big mustache out. I love when he does it. He grows an awesome mustache.
Hilarious.
And talk about somebody that's perfectly cast. It's so weird because if you know him off camera, he's such a nice guy, but just so perfectly cast as that gym teacher bad guy too.
Yeah, at Leapfrog. Yep. So it is cool because not only the one thing they can never take away from you here with Leapfrog is you started it. Like you were the first match, the first time ever seen. I do want to ask. You had to do some really pretty gross stuff. Second show, the trick or treat smell my feet match.
Yeah.
the guy running that high tension network. Unfortunately, he got a little massage there with his feet.
Yeah. Some feet. Yep.
What are you most excited for going in now? Kind of seeing everything in round one and shaping it up. Who are some of your picks for who you think can win this frog sport, and some people that really impressed you so far in round one?
So far in round one, as far as impressed, Janai Kai. That was my first time seeing her. Like I've seen clips of her and like seeing her up close. I was like, wow, like geez. You know, she told me she was doing, I think she said Muay Thai. I think she was doing that since she was like 6. I'm like,
she got thighs like Adrian Peterson. Like if she kicks you, she's gonna break you. Yeah. She's like those quads. She's got big quads. So when he throws those kicks, man, she'll take you out at your feet.
Yeah, she was the truth, man. Of course I'm pulling for Mikowski, man.
Yeah.
Right.
Of course I'm pulling for him. I hope he pull that out, man.
He has a tough road so far, man. His first match, Blackstrom, not an easy go. Darius going in right against Abby, got a little disrespectful there, didn't let go of the submission, kind of looked like she hurt her arm pretty bad there. So
I'm the only one that can bully Abby. Nobody else can bully Abby but me. So yay that.
Yeah. Yoya really impressed me.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then getting to see him work Bloodsport. Well, him and Janai both worked Bloodsport.
And Matt. Yeah.
Yeah, and Matt, but him and Leo Rush, man, put a show on at Bloodsport.
Yes, they did.
I heard nothing but good things about that, man. Yeah, I heard. I watched Mikowski's match, and I watched a little bit of Moxley's match, but I've heard Janai and Yo-Yo's was pretty good too.
Yeah, it was an overall good card. Another person who I never really, I just been kind of following on the independent scene, but I never really had a conversation or anything. The gentleman, the Savage Gentleman, he got to wrestle that night. He has a great look. And then his wife, Lady Frost.
Oh, yeah,
they're exciting. Yeah, they're Pittsburgh people, right?
Yeah,
from the Pittsburgh area.
Yep, they lived in Philly for like a few months, and then they wound up going back out to Pittsburgh. But yeah, and they're really nice people.
Yeah. So
we can't bring up Pittsburgh. I know they're not involved in Frogs, but we can't bring up Pittsburgh without bringing up the Runway.
No, they show us a lot of love on Twitter.
Those guys.
So
love
big
those
fans
guys.
of the Runway. Yeah, I may have a Runway T-shirt coming in. I went and ordered a whole bunch. I went nuts this past month buying T-shirts. So I gotta take a break before I lose my wife. And as I said that on Pro Wrestling Tees, the new Best Friend shirt came out. Did you see that one yet?
It can wait. It
can't wait. It can't wait at all. It's best friends, and they're all on a triple bike. And Orange Cassidy's in the middle, and he has his hands and feet up like he's like not even pedaling. Best friends are holding each other while they're pedaling, and then in the basket, like E.T. is Statlander, and they're going over like they're shooting up over the moon.
That's great.
Yeah, but it's all like that cartoon of their best friends look. So yeah, Rhonda Watt, lunch lady, hanging out with us, saying hello here.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah, but so what is we'll do some fantasy booking for you. So what company, do you think would be a good fit for you? Getting some, like you have NXT, you have AEW, ROH coming up, Impact.
Mm-hmm.
Where would you think you would fit in? I mean, honestly, anyone gives you an opportunity, you go for it. But where was someone that you think locker room wise that you would like to look at, or some talent there that you're like, oh man, I'd really love to work for or work with?
Like you said, any of them would be great. My go-to, if I had to pick right now, would be Ring of Honor. I think Ring of Honor got the best wrestling going on right now. And that's no disrespect to anybody else. It's just like that pure tournament, and
I really like the pure rules.
Yeah, the pure rules, man. And I just always been a fan of Ring of Honor, man. I like that small, intimate scene that they got. Of course, when fans are there. But yeah, I would definitely be Ring of Honor.
I think they're doing a great job too, because Ring of Honor, let's face it, was really bled dry with their talent when AEW started, and they lost all their names.
More NXT like rated everybody.
Yeah, NXT rated them. They just rated that whole company was rated, and the only names they really had at the time was Skrull, but now obviously he can't be a part of it, and
Jay
Lethal. I love Jay Lethal. Yeah.
Jay Lethal's.
But they're doing a good job booking guys that you may not have known who they were, and now they're becoming names you're hearing about. Mm-hmm. Which a big one would, and I don't think he's technically even signed, but Deppen.
No, I think he's signed.
Yeah, I hope he is, man. Deppen is.
Yeah, good. I'm not sure if he's officially signed. I know he's
in there. He's in their main heel stable. He better be signed.
Yeah, love Deppen.
And speaking of that pure tournament, one guy that I knew of him, but I didn't really know too much of him. I didn't watch a whole lot of his work. And that pure tournament really opened my eyes on him was Fred Yehai.
Okay.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah, I think those pure rules are fun. The nose closed fists and stuff. Mm-hmm. I do enjoy pro wrestling. I do love when things get wacky, but I do like when it's taken to like that kind of like the shoot fighter, like where you're like, oh, you can't throw a closed fist, because realistically, if you do a closed fist to somebody, you're gonna do a lot of damage. Where this pro rules the pure rules kind of makes it look like it's more of a legit fight.
That used to be a thing back in the day, like you couldn't use a closed fist, and it maybe made it a little easier to throw a worked one. But
yeah,
but no, like that, it's a throwback too.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a good company. I think 2 years ago when we did the pod, we had our end of the year awards. We said the company with the biggest disappointment. It was ROH, and now
that was the year they did. That was the year they did get bled dry by AW because the Bucks left and Kenny left and just a lot of people did leave. But before
they kind of sat back and didn't even do content either. They were kind of like, well, they're having some issue with their women's division.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the whole thing with that and the Kelly Klein thing was around that time. But yeah, it seems like they are again, the rising tide lifts all boats. So hopefully Ring of Honor can kind of pull out of it. And they are like it's I'm really chomping at the bit for everything to come back, because a lot of some of my biggest memories, I was a little younger. I didn't have my own disposable income. I didn't get to go to a lot of ECW unless they were coming out to Delaware County where I lived and they were playing by the middle school I went to.
Gotcha.
I couldn't get to go to the arena a whole lot, but I did get to go to a lot of Ring of Honor. I got to go to the Manhattan Center. I got to go to the Hammerstein. I got to go to the, I'm going to show my age here, I got to go to the Murphy Rec Center.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm a little old. But so yeah, that is a company I will always root for just because of that history.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So if you can build your Mount Rushmore of professional wrestling, who are you putting on there?
Okay, so anytime I'm asked that, are we going off of the whole character, or are we going strictly wrestling?
Whatever company, whatever promotion, your Mount Rushmore of professional, like people who inspired you, or who. So you could do people who inspired you, or just people who you think are the greatest of all time.
Greatest of all time. I'm gonna do it strictly wrestling. Shawn Michaels is number one.
I love it already.
AJ Styles is AJ. Okay, AJ's in there. I don't know where he ranks, but AJ's definitely. AJ. I'm gonna throw you off with this one. I'm throwing Jay Lethal in there. I'm a Jay Lethal fan.
He should get a Hall of Fame ring wherever he shows up for the rest of his life after doing that Ric Flair promo.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna really age myself now. The first Ring of Honor show I ever went to was when he was still Hydro and wearing the tie, and he was still just doing mainly flips and stuff.
I got to throw Eddie Guerrero in there.
Oh yeah,
it's 4, right? Or is it 5?
Yep,
that's 4.
Yeah, 4.
Fine with that.
Yeah, that's definitely the first two you said, like an AJ and Sean. That's definitely my style.
Eddie Guerrero was amazing.
Yeah, that's definitely my style of wrestler. I gravitate towards. Like I'm a fan of AJ, Sean, Ziggler, Jericho, Flair.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's my wheelhouse of that style of wrestler. Absolutely, AJ's awesome. Do you have any other? I'm sorry, go ahead. Any other questions?
I was just gonna throw in some other thing. This is that same night that I was talking about the first time I saw Jay Lethal. That was the night that AJ, he was the NWA champion at that point in TNA.
Mm-hmm.
It was the first time since Shane Douglas threw the belt down that the NWA title was defended in Philadelphia.
Wow!
And it was AJ Styles against Chris Sabin in the Ring of Honor show.
Yeah. AJ, man, it's even for him to be at the age that he's at right now, man. I mean, he can make anybody look
especially the style. Like he did not do an easy style.
Yeah, 100%, man. I mean, that dude. I think, and I will give WWE their credit. Like I thought AJ always was a great wrestler, but like he can really talk, and I think WWE took that out, bought that out of him.
Yeah,
I got to give them their credit on that.
He just got his Grand Slam too. He's officially a Grand Slam.
Deserve it, dude. AJ.
I think he ends his career not in WWE. I think he's going to make a run. I probably do like he'll get the Jericho or Moxley contract where he can do a show here in Japan and also do AEW.
Yeah,
I think that's how he'll end it.
I could definitely see it because he was a guy that really loved doing Twitch, and now they can't. And I could see where like I don't want to wrestle every weekend. I want to play. I want to do my Twitch thing, but I want to wrestle like maybe 8 nights a year. And I'm gonna go do Japan. I'm gonna go do AEW. Maybe Impact throws me enough money to put me in their Hall of Fame, which he should be the first guy in there.
Mm-hmm.
I can do that too.
Yeah, well, now that Joe is a free agent, I'd like to see him and Joe have another one before they're both done. I'd like to see him and Kenny have the match. I'd like to see him and Cody have a match.
Daniels isn't retired either. I would love, and AEW is a thing that they are a company that really will look back at the past fondly. So if they could do like AJ, Daniels, and Joe one more time, that would be great.
Yeah, well, Daniel said at a conference, he was like, they're pretty much said like I'm not planning on re-signing, and I guess his contract is done in the fall.
As a wrestler, because he is very, very, very big behind the scenes.
Well, no, he said like pretty much saying like when his contract comes up, he has no intentions of re-signing. He wants to work somewhere else.
Christopher Daniels?
No, Daniel Bryan.
Oh, I'm talking about Christopher Daniels. Okay, never mind.
Okay, yeah, that Samoa Joe being released, man. I didn't understand.
Yeah.
I ain't
That's another guy. That's another guy that authentic, just very believable. Kind of Vader if you updated him for 2005.
Yeah,
I agree.
you should get a Vader inspired mask with the beard and the mohawk, and it's like kind of having like the open spots on it. I think that'd be dope.
I could see face paint more for you than a mask. I could see face paint more than a mask.
That's the funny thing. I was supposed to be a masked character when I came out.
Ooh, do you have
Do like a Bane thing? But
can
they
you,
had that.
Can you
that one
reveal what
guy.
you were gonna be?
You were right on the money. It was like a
There you go.
and
Oh yeah.
yeah. I mean, I wasn't opposed of it. But I like that I didn't have to wear a mask. But
Yeah.
opposed of it though.
I was thinking more.
I was thinking of that guy they had before. That was the Callian, the guy who was like that would like kill everybody. I don't know if it was might have been before your time with Jakar, but he was the guy that would come in and like he wore almost like a Bane thing, and he was like the big monster heel for a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't put you in a full like cover up mask. I would just do like a mixture between like the Mankind and the Vader, where just kind of like straps here and there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's something different.
I think it'd be cool. And then, like I said, it leaves it open for your beard and then open for your mohawk.
Yeah, man.
That'd be dope. All right, so we'll get close to the end here. So I got one more. We'll swing back over to football for a second. What do you want our team name to be?
I would say Red Tails.
The Red Tails.
I love that one. Yeah.
The Red Tails is a cool one. That would go off what the first African American Air Force troop.
Yep.
During World War II.
I want to say World War II. I think.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I could be wrong. Sometimes my history sucks. I do like the Red Tails a lot. I was leaning a little bit towards the Red Wolves. I like the Red Wolves.
That sounds great too.
So the reason I lean towards the Red Wolves is like, so the name change for me was tough. I'm devil's advocate, right? So in one aspect, I understand where if it is offensive and it is a slur, then please get rid of it if it's bothering people. But on the same token, I kind of always looked at it as it is a slur, but it's one of those slurs where it's like we took the power away from you by by taking it and making it our own. Mm-hmm. And as a fan of that, I leaned a lot into the Native American culture, being a Washington Redskins fan. Mm-hmm. I thought that whole it was never like deemed to me as like a joke or taken disrespectful. And then when the name change came and people were kind of like demoralizing it, as a fan base, I was proud to have the representation of Native American culture on our helmet and the war chief and everything like that, and the song and the fight song. So I understand how it can be deemed offensive to people, but it was just, as a lifelong fan, I never seen it. I was being disrespectful. Like it was more like an honor thing. Yeah. So I was very torn with it at first, but the reason I'm leaning heavily towards the Red Wolves is because of Native American culture. When they pass on, they feel they get reincarnated into a wolf. Mm-hmm. So that's why wolf culture is very into the Native American. So it'd be kind of the Native American man, and then the imagery goes away and they're reincarnated back into like the wolves, and then we get to keep the HCTR. So,
I mean, but yeah, I know, right? I was when I knew it was offensive, and I understood the names. I wasn't big on being combative or having issues with the name change, because I always looked at it like you would never walk up to somebody and go, "Hey, you such and such."
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm like, you know what? I completely understand them changing it. I've called them that my whole life, so it's sometimes I still slip up and still call them that.
Yeah,
I did it earlier.
Yeah. And you have a tattoo, correct?
I have a tattoo.
Yeah, you have the Native American chief on you.
And that has to get not the Native American not getting covered up, but the name will eventually get covered up. But I'm rid of like the gear. I'm like, some people like, you should hold on to it and sell it. Nah, I'm cool.
Yeah, I have that last year's draft hat where it was I always I know like the name, fine. I won't say the name, but I really love the old logo. Because that was actually based off a real person, you know what I mean? And their family was really behind that. And it does suck for their family. Now their lineage is not going to be represented on the helmet, what does bum me out. But I got the hat and it says right on it. Like if my jersey still has it, they're $60 a pop. I may and I have a Sean Taylor one that I still wear. So you may see the name on there a little bit, but I'll definitely embrace it. I won't, you know what I mean? And as a kind of a soccer fan too, I kind of like the name, the football team, where it's kind of like more of that
I'm happy
simple.
you said that.
Maybe starting a trend there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I like Washington football team. Like, it grew on me.
Yeah.
So
I just like it's like a simple like Tecmo Ball. Washington.
there's
They kept the color scheme and stuff. I'd like to maybe see a little bit of maybe a flip in the color here and there. Maybe lean more towards like the darker tones than the all whites and stuff, or maybe lean towards like the burgundy and the yellows more, which I'd be excited for. But yeah, I'm excited for the new season.
I want to just bring this up. Did you guys watch Mortal Kombat yet?
I have not. That's my plan after this interview.
Okay,
Yeah.
you should go do that.
Did you like it?
I watched it twice already.
I want to watch
Twice.
it before Frog Sport. I want to get in the mood.
Is there any, like, without saying them, is there big surprises?
Kinda.
All right, because I know there's some characters that people are like, "Oh, it sucks that these characters aren't represented in the movie."
You can say Johnny Cage, Tony.
Yeah, Johnny Cage. I don't know if a Johnny Cage appearance happens.
You should watch the movie.
Oh, I like it. I like
That's
it.
what I plan on doing.
You guys watch Godzilla and Kong? Because I'm going to watch that next, and I'm like, should I waste my time, or is it good?
We're on that movie.
Yeah.
There's a podcast that starts the whole movie, and they're called the TTP. I was like, please give us a little bit of rub, Godzilla, King Kong. I have not seen it yet. I heard mixed reviews. I heard some people didn't like it, but I think what people didn't like was the human element, where that little girl is like controlling these big monsters. Like, no, they're monsters. Let them destroy a city and just kind of go with it. Adding the human element, I think, ruined it for people.
Okay, I understand.
But I love monsters destroying a city. They're my favorite movies.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, hobby-wise, besides professional wrestling, we'll kind of end here. What else? What do you do for fun? Hobbies? What are you into?
I'm a watch guy. Obviously, tattoo guy. Hang with my daughter. That's basically it, man.
Yeah,
really simple.
That shirt is amazing too.
Oh yeah, what you did? You like that?
No, the shirt with your daughter, the pink one.
You said
your
what?
shirt with your daughter.
Oh yeah, definitely, dude.
I actually just got my. Oh man, I got refunded. All right, I got to reorder it then. My Frog Sport shirt, I got refunded for it. Yeah. I got the messed up one, but I got to get a new one.
Mine's faded too.
Yeah, I think there was a little bit of mix up with the company who did the shirts for IWTV.
Okay.
So I literally just got the email saying that I was refunded for my shirt, and then I guess you just go back and reorder it, and they'll send you the new one.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Get my Frog Sport shirt. But now you said you're like really into pop culture and movies and stuff. Are you a video game guy or anything like that?
I'm more like sports video games.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about it.
Xbox, PlayStation?
Xbox.
There you go. See, this guy's everything I love here. Washington.
I was gonna be pushed out of the show in a second.
Right. Like, so we are eventually removing Brian. No, I would never get rid of Brian. Brian's the heart and soul of Tornado Tech Podcast. His research is unbelievable. Yeah. Anything you wanna plug or get out there?
I got Devantes PW is the Twitter. I got some really good matches coming up. For Wrestle Lab, Catalyst Pro Wrestling, I got Best of 5 series against Matt Mikowski. So the first one's already out. The second one is coming soon. And a whole bunch of Camp Leapfrog stuff, and I'm on the Blitzkrieg card on May 7th out Connecticut. So yeah, it's a lot of things going on. I got a lot of upcoming matches. That should be on IWTV soon.
Yeah. Well, like I said, your total matches under your belt in 3 years, 40, and then starting your career, and then obviously a huge pandemic hits for almost a year and a half, 2 years of it. You're still putting a lot of work in. You're definitely turning heads. You are winning more than you're losing, which is always good. And I think the sky's the limit for you, man. Every time you have a great look. You're awesome, not just in the ring, but outside the ring as a person. Mm-hmm. You're very pleasant just to have conversations with and speak with, and your interaction with other talent has been amazing that I've watched. So that's a good thing. I guess a lot of bookers like if you're not coming into the locker room in an issue, but Yeah, man. I think the sky's the limit. I think kind of how we said, like the working with the people you're with and supporting each other and making each other stronger. It's gonna be great. I'm excited for the future.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it, man. Thank you guys for having me too.
Anytime, this door's always open. If you have any stuff you want to come in, or if you see a topic that we're doing soon, and you're like, I know about this topic, or if you want to present a topic, you can come back. We always try to do like a place, people, place, or thing, and we just find something in wrestling. I think the next one we lean towards already for the next show is going to be the GCW versus ROH show.
Mm-hmm.
CCW ROH, maybe.
CCW ROH, yeah.
That whole feud.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then we're gonna try to maybe sometime this next weekend or the weekend after, we want to do a bring it, just whoever wants to come in, they can do it. We're gonna do like a giant like leapfrog, and we'll talk about frog sport. It'll be a week late, but we want to do like a frog sport episode and have everybody come in and talk.
Absolutely. How many people can you have on your stream?
This one here, I could do 10. Nice. What we're doing, I could do 10 people, and we could play like a Hollywood Squares game or something.
Froggywood Squares is what I
Froggywood Squares, yeah. That's another thing we were talking before, like the frog puns that you get all day long when you're at Camp Leapfrog, and people are booking match ideas. You're like the Ribbit or the Ribbit Rumble, or everything gets thrown out.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, but definitely follow him on social media. Like I said, you can check out his link below for What a Maneuver and go grab some merchandise. If you get some merchandise, take some photos with your stuff. Show it off. Show off your trash talking tees. It is very, very comfortable t-shirt. What a Maneuver does a great job. Their shirts, they come in great. The quality is really good on them, and they're one of those shirts too. When you wash it, it doesn't shrink another size or two on you. That drives me crazy. Yep. I have so many wrestling shirts that I can't wear because your boy is cultivating mass, like Mac from Always Sunny. I'm not getting fatter. I'm just cultivating mass. And those shirts shrink. And then I raise my hands and I get a little bit of that underbelly look going on. Not for me. So I don't wear them again. But the What a Maneuver shirts are really good. So hope we're losing you a little bit. You there?
Yeah, I'm there. You can hear me?
Yeah, you're getting a little choppy.
Oh, wow. I'm under the Wi-Fi. I thought I was pretty good. Can you see me?
Yeah, we can see you. It's a little choppy, but we are getting here towards the end. But thank you once again for doing this. We'd love to have you back on. Brian, to close out, anything you want to plug?
Same thing I always plug, projecthumanoid.com. You can find my stuff there, Murder My Dude, Pedantic. And yeah, there you go. Murder My Dude, right on the hoodie.
His great podcast. All right. And their links are also below. So if you click on the IWEP links or the tornado tag, you'll see Project Humanoid, and you can go follow their podcast. Like I said, if you want to support us, we have the Patreon, we have the pro wrestling, we have not our pro wrestling tees, but we have our 2 merch pages you can go check out and get your own t-shirts. And just follow us on social media. We just hit 500 subscribers on YouTube, so that if we can get to that 1K and make YouTube pay us, that'd be great.
And if somehow you aren't subscribed to IWTV yet, Frog Sport is tomorrow night.
Yes. Live tweet, #FrogSport. The code used to be Leapfrog for a 7-day trial.
5 day. I don't know if and then was gone for many week. I don't know if they brought it back.
So give it a shot. If you're brand new, head over to IWTV, use code Leapfrog. If it works, you get your free day trial. Keep it.
It's worth the $10. If not, it's worth the $10. You probably don't have WWE Network anymore. You can do this. And don't just watch Frog Sport, watch everything Devantes did. The Super 8, all of it.
Thank you.
It's well worth your time.
A lot of cool stuff on there. Everything from the WrestleMania weekend that was on there for IWTV was excellent as well. But we'll see you guys soon, and we're out of here with Tornado Tag. Hang out to Devantes after we close here, and we'll say a proper goodbye. But we'll close you out here with some Billy Trey, and we'll see you guys next time on Tornado Tag Podcast. So we're out of here. If I could find the button, there it is.
There's the button.